Okay, guys, so this is me, Brandon from Gswaps, and we are getting ready to start the crankshaft, which we're going to do some crankshaft clearances here. We're going to do the crankshaft, what is it called? The plastic gauge. We're going to plastic gauge this engine. First thing you want to do, I kind of did this off camera. Go ahead and just wipe down your crankshaft if it's been sitting around, clean it from any debris, anything in the journals, anything like that. Because the last thing we want is to put dirt in this engine. We're assembling. So make sure everything's nice and pretty, shiny, beautiful as can be. So I've already given this a wipe down and blowed it off with the air gun. So it should be good to go. Also, whenever you set the engine in there, or the pistons in there, make sure that nothing can damage the rods or anything like that, and that the crank doesn't hit the rods or anything like that. My rods are all leaning to one side. So that being said, that's just kind of some things you want to do. Move those two that way so they're out of the way of the journals, and those two are that way so they're out of the way. So you want to be able to turn this thing a little bit. It does not have any oil on it because we're about to do plastic gauge. You don't want any oil on plastic gauge. But I'll go ahead and get the plastic gauge, and that'll be the next part. So the next step, you want to apply your plastic gauge. Oh yeah, I forgot to show it. Here. This is your plastic gauge. These are the packets that they come in. They allow clearances. You can measure your clearances either in millimeters or in inches. But this is the plastic gauge. It's this little green piece of plastic here. You want to cut that, lay it across your crankshaft like so. I've got many more journals to do, so I got to do all the rest of them. Just cut a little piece, lay it across, cut a little piece, lay it across. We're going to do the mains first, and then we can, once we know the mains are within clearance and they're spec'd, we can go ahead and do the rods. There's 5 mains and 4 rods. We'll go and just build this thing, check our clearances. This is supposed to allow me to see what oil clearances are in between the crankshaft. Once I know what I got, then I can check them against my factory specs and see where we're at. So I'm going to go ahead and lay plastic gauge on all these, and then I'll get the girdle, which is right there, and the top side of the bearings right there. We'll put them on here, and we'll go ahead and assemble the block as if we were going to build it, and torque down the excuse me. We'll torque down the mains, and then that'll give us a good go there. Sorry about that. Okay, after setting in all the plastic gauge, it should look like this. All 5 of them should have it. I'm probably going to go ahead and do the crankshaft too, or the rod bolts too, or the rods anyways, just to get it out of the way. But I'll actually do that after these ones, just to make sure everything's right. Okay, so next thing is to go ahead and get the bearings on the girdle, and go ahead and set the girdle on. Then I can set in my ARP main studs. Checking all the holes, make sure all the holes are clear. Looks good. Yeah, looks good. You see the balance shaft delete plugs I've got in this engine will not have balance shafts. One deep down in there. Okay, all right, well, back on track. Let's go ahead and we will set our bearings inside the main caps, and we will go ahead and set the main up on top, and then we'll set our ARP main studs in with just set them in place. Okay, I'm gonna hop off for a second. Okay, once you get your mains in, they should look like this. Now these ones are ACL race ones. They've been heat treated. That's why they're discolored like that. So they've been hardened and heat treated. So this is actually going to be a stronger bearing. All right, and the next piece, I will go ahead and flip the camera probably put it on a tripod and go ahead and put the main bolts, the mains on, the main cap. So this is the main stud, cap, the whole 9. Bearings, all that. We'll go ahead and set it on top. I need to do it very, very gradually so that way it lines up with the plastic gauge and doesn't move it or anything like that. So it needs to go on really good. So, alright, I'm going to hop off camera. I'll sit you on the tripod because I need both of my hands. Okay, so I got the engine here. I've got all the plastic gauge on it. It's basically just sitting on it as straight as could be. And we'll go ahead and just trying to move on here. I'm going to go ahead and set the mains on it, and then I got to put my studs in after that. Alright, so I got the main caps. All the bearings are held in place. We're going to go ahead and just line this thing up very gently. I don't want to move it around a whole lot. I just want it to fit. Come on now. Come on. Just kind of line her up. Get her on them dowel pins. That's what I was getting it on. See, it's still not even, well, you can't see it, but it's still not even down all the way yet. I'm just getting her lined up. So. Alright. Go ahead and get the studs. I got all my ARPs in this bag right here. Start putting the studs in. So these are already kind of pre-oiled. Now these aren't the final assembly on these, but you know what? For anyways, just for purposes, I'm gonna go ahead and oil them again, just to be sure. First stud. I believe these are all the same size too. Set that bag right there. I got my oil here. Right here. Just put just a drop. That's all it takes. Let it roll around a little bit. Okay. Shove it in the hole. Now these studs also have Allen heads on top. That's how I know where they go. All right. A little oil. Shove it in the hole. If they thread in, that's fine. If not, we're going to make them thread in. These are already kind of oiled, but I'm going to oil them again. Okay. Alright, it's a bad placement of the bag. I guess you can't see the rest of them. But I can assure you, the next 6 are going to go in fine. One threads in. Oh. Okay. All right, 2 more to go. Let me get this stuff out of my way here. Okay. They all just need tightened down. Let me go ahead and get my Allen head tool, and I'll go ahead and start tightening these guys down here. Adjust you a little bit better. All right, once you find the correct size Allen wrench, go ahead and start putting them in the hole. Start threading them down in there. You want to go all the way down and then back at least a quarter or half turn. The reason for that is so they don't bottom out whenever you torque them. Okay. Got a few more of these to do. All the way down. Back it off a bit. Okay. Basically, y'all get the idea. Okay. All right, guys. So once you get your studs in place and you got your main caps on, you can go ahead and take a rubber hammer and kind of tap it down into place. You want to go ahead and put your washers on and get your molly and put your molly on your bolts here. So each one of them will get, each one of these nuts will get a little bit of molly. And go ahead and get the next one. There's 10 of them to do. So I'll go ahead and probably go ahead and pause the video and do the rest of them, and I'll come right back. All right, guys. So once you go ahead and get your molly grease on your threads on your bolts, you want to go ahead, set your cork wrench to 80 foot-pounds, and then go ahead and start torquing them like you would normally. So these are ARPs, and I'm going to torque it straight to 80. So usually, well, I'll do it 25, 50, 80. So reset my setting here. This is a digital. To 25. All right, there's 25. Well, it says 52 on your eyes, but it's 25. So go ahead and torque them down like I would normally. There's a different pattern. Just don't turn it, Wayne. Whatever you do, don't turn it. Okay. All right. There's 25 on that one. Try to do this fast. Got Uncle Wayne here holding the crankshaft to hold the engine from moving on me whenever I get up to the 80 foot-pounds. 25. There is a pattern to do this. Look up in your Honda manual to be able to figure it out. Everyone's different. almost there. 25. 2 more to go. This one and one more. All right. One more. There's my initial clearance. Okay. Next one will be set at 50 foot-pounds. This should go a lot faster now. Let me pause the video. Alright guys, so we're about to do our 50 foot-pounds now. I had a little distraction there for a second. Set up on 50, 5-0. Looks like 20 on your end because it's upside down. Start torquing these in. Remember, we're just checking our clearances here. We're not actually building. 50. 50. Oh, it's this one. Yep. Nope. Boom, boom. This one. Actually, no, I got this wrong. Yep, it was this one. Don't forget your order, guys. 50. 50. 50. Okay. I'll go with this one. 50. 50. 50. And last one. 50. All right, the next set is 80. So I got 80 foot-pounds is the next set. All right, we'll go ahead and start our 80. We'll go ahead and start our 80 foot-pounds. That's 80. 80. What? 80. 80. 80. 80. 80. 80. 80. Last one. And 80. Okay, so we torque them all down to 80, just so that way we can take it back apart. So I got them all torqued down to 80. Now I can go ahead and remove them and take everything out, take it all back apart, leave the studs in there. Studs are fine, they can stay. But go ahead and take all the bolts off, take the washers off, and take the main caps off, remove them, and then we'll check our clearances. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. All right, guys, once you go ahead and get your bolts all taken out now and your washers, put them in a bag, bolts and washers in a bag. Now you can go ahead and loosen up the crank or journal or the mains. Already did this. I just took a hammer and pried up on it. Just give it a little bump on each end corner. Just came right off. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove my main caps off the studs. I'm going to set it down over here. As you can see, each one of them has a little bitty plastic line, which I'm going to go set these over here because that way it's out of the way. I have markings on the crankshaft as well. Each of them has markings. I'm going to take this off for a second. Flip this around. All right, it's flipped around. You guys are still recording. So there's my marks right there. Each of them has marks on it. So they look really good too. So this will allow me to check my clearances. So with the plastic gauge. So the next step, I'll be checking my clearances. All right, so to tear you off a little piece of plastic gauge, if I can get it to focus here, we're going to go ahead and check it with our clearances. Looks like it's around 0.15 inches. Millimeters would be 0.38, which I believe 3/8 is what this other guy's was using within clearance. Check this one too. If I get my big finger out of the way, looks like 3/8. Check this one. Where I did this is like the worst spot, to be honest. So that one looks like, god damn it, it's around 3/8 as well. It's just hard to focus on it. I can see it. I'll do this one around, I can see it, it's around 3/8. So they're all pretty much around the same clearances. Around 3.8. Okay, so that's a good thing that they're all around the same. I'm going to go check my chart, and I'll get back to this video in just a second. I'm also going to post the chart up as well. All right, I should have just did this on the main caps to begin with because it's a lot more easier too. But so this is number 5. It's around a little under 3/8. So bigger than 0.015, right? It's slightly smaller than 3/8, so that's actually good. All of them are pretty linear, pretty much the same. That one's a little bigger than 15. But they're pretty much right around, they're just slightly under 3/8. Okay, so now, so I can go ahead and go ahead and clear off my main caps and go ahead and get ready. That means I can finally torque these down the way they should be. I just got to clear off all the wax. All right, guys, my phone is really low, so I'm gonna have to charge it here soon. But the next thing we're gonna do is go ahead and pull the main cap or the rod caps off, and we'll go ahead and put the new bearings, which are right here, ACL race, inside each of the rod caps, and then we'll repeat the process of what we just did with the crankshaft. So we know our clearances are good on the crank. Now we need to make sure our clearances are good on the rods. All right, guys, the next step you want to do is go ahead and throw the bearings for the bottom side of the caps in there. Like I already did, I just slid them in. Yep, just slid them in. See them in there. Right. I always have my notches facing the exhaust side because that's the stroke side. It's the side the engine's gonna torque more to. So after you do those, you want to go ahead and put the plastic gauge on, which I'll go ahead and cut some and I'll put some on it. And then after I put the plastic gauge on it, then I can go ahead and put the caps on it and torque them down to 45 foot-pounds. All right, guys, so you get the plastic gauge on all 4 of the rod caps or rod journals. Go ahead and put it on all 4 of them. And make sure you don't drop any down in there or lose any. And, yep. So we'll do that. And go ahead and put the caps on after that. Make sure your bearings are set in the right direction. The notches face the notches, and I put my notches towards the exhaust side. So go ahead and set the first cap on. All right. And these all getting tightened down to 45 foot-pounds. I believe that's what my paperwork says on these rods. It's 45 foot-pounds. So go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and hand tighten them on at first. So that way they're all on there, and then I'll torque them all down. So hand tighten first, and then I'll torque. All right, I'm going to repeat the process with the other 3, and then we can move on to doing the torque on them and going from there. I'm going to hop off for a second. All right, guys, I'm filming again. So I got you guys back on the tripod. I got the rod caps just hand threaded into place, and we're going to go ahead and tighten them down to 45 foot-pounds because that's what the specifications is for these rod bolts. KS Tune X-beam rods, and they torque down to 85 foot-pounds for the setup I have. Also, I need to go and get a little molly because each one I need to put some molly on. I already have them kind of torqued down by hand, but I forgot about the molly because that gives it the final torque to it. Got ARP molly, comes with your rod bolts, comes with most of your stuff whenever you build them. I'm just going to go ahead and take out the bolts one at a time, add a little molly to them. Alright, there's that one. Just take it out, we'll put it back in. I should have already done this, but it's okay. A little molly, just touch it. That's all you gotta do. See it? And we're gonna drop it back in the hole. So, like I said, should have already been done, but even I can make mistakes. But we ain't gonna make one on this one though, I'll tell you that, because we're putting it together right. We're gonna double look everything. So, little molly, take a whole lot. And I am gonna pause the video after I thread this one in to do the other ones, and then I'll come back right back. Just make sure you don't forget your molly like I did. All right. We'll go ahead and thread these back on now that we got the molly on it, and we'll go ahead and torque these 45 foot-pounds, and then we will take everything back apart and check our plastic gauge again. So we got 45 foot-pounds. Looks like 42 on your end, but it's 45. So let's just start with this first one here. Let's go ahead and get it to where they snug. Couple turns there, a couple turns here, back and forth until they snug. All right, and then 45. There's 45. 45. Almost there. This one must not have been tightened down enough. It's fine though. Get this one snug. I like to snug them up before I go ahead and torque them, so that way they don't torque all weird. Okay. .45. When the light blinks red, that's when we're hit 45. Okay. Okay, there's that one. Get this one. Sometimes I wish I had a smaller ratchet for this, but you know what? It is what we got. Okay. Almost there. All right. 45. $45. Couple more and we got it. All right, move on to this one. I need a shorter ratchet for this, or the zippy gun from upstairs just to zip them on there. That'd probably overdo it, honestly. Oops. All right. Ready? Here we go. It's 45. And 45. Okay. So once you get all of them done to 45 foot-pounds, that's the torque specs on them. Now we get the fun part of taking everything back apart. So the easiest way to do it is just loosen it up. So remember, we don't want to turn this crankshaft. We don't want to turn anything, because what we're doing here is just trying to get our clearances. If we turn it, it would make a smudge and it would be like it wouldn't be correct. It'd be false measurements. All right, loosen them all up. Okay, almost there. I'm glad I made a separate video for this crankshaft, because this is a lot more technical than just doing piston rings. So, got them all loosened. The next step is to go ahead and take your little rubber mallet. You got a rubber mallet here. And we're going to separate the cap from the rod the easy way. So the easiest way to do it is just leave it a couple threads in it and just tap the end of your socket setup. So, a couple threads, just want a couple threads in it. Go ahead and separate these, just tapping, just like that. One hit, one and done. So loosen the other ones up, just leave a couple threads. Okay. All right. Okay, that's separated. Ready? Separated. I should open a school on building engines, honestly. That's what I've been thinking. I've been doing these things, so, you know, knowledge is power, and teaching people, it's a good thing. All right, so once we get the caps separated, we'll go ahead and remove them one at a time and check our clearances. I'm going to put you on hold for a second while I go ahead and get ready to remove these. Alright guys, so we got the rod cap off, and now we're going to go ahead and check our clearances. I already pre-checked them because I forgot to record the last little session there. So you want to be, the specifications are between 10 and 16 thousandths of an inch, and right now we're sitting at about, this is a inch side and the white is the 15 thousandths. So there's that. I'm trying to do this on camera while holding everything. So we are just under the 15 thousandths. So that tells me that we should be in between 10 and 16 thousandths of an inch, which tells me that number one, cylinder one, rod one is clear. Now the next thing I need to do is just clean it, and I can start assembling the engine absolutely after that, which won't take too long because I've already gone this far. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this one. I'm going to go ahead and move on to cylinder two, and we'll check number two. Okay, we're back on again. This is number two, rod cap number two. We're going to go ahead and check it, and it looks to be right under the 15 as well. So 10 and 16 is what we're going for, so that's right under the 15. So that one's good too. Move on to number three after. All right, now we're on to number three. I don't know if that's clear enough, but it is just under the 15 thousandths. It's above the 2 thousandths and under the 15 thousandths. So that tells me that that one's in tolerance too. Remember, we're going to 10 to 16 thousandths is our clearance. So this is good. Set this one over here. I got one more to do. I'll just make this one fast since it should already be loosened up enough. Pull her out of there. All right. Flip her over. Get my little tool. And just from looking at it, it's within the 15 thousandths as well. So there's not much light, I know. Let's see if I can actually get light on this thing. Maybe. Okay, so there it is. It's under the 15 thousandths. 10 to 16 thousandths is our clearance for oil. So that tells me that this engine's good and I'm ready to go ahead and assemble it. So I'll go ahead and I'll get all this plastic gauge off my crank, clean my rod caps, pull the crank out, and we'll go ahead and oil everything. And we'll put the rust washers in, and we'll go ahead and build this block because it's about time. So let's get this done. The next step, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and start oiling everything because we know our bearing clearances are good. I went in and cleaned off all the plastic gauge, off all the crankshaft and everything, so it's good to go. I did it also on the caps. The caps are good to go too. Next thing we want to do is I'm going to oil each of these holes. You see these little crankshaft holes. Put a little oil down in each of them. All right. Oil the caps themselves. I'm just going to oil every hole. Crankshaft as well. So, I see that pop through. It tells me it's working. So, put a little oil in the hole. A little oil in the hole. See it? It tells me there's a good, it's clean in between there. Oil in the hole. Yeah. Oil in the hole. Tells me those are clean. That's pretty cool how that's done. I've never really taken a look at that, but there's little drill spot holes in between each of the crank in the journal between each rod, and those are holes so oil flows. But that was pretty cool looking at. So, in fact, I'll go ahead and let you guys see what I'm talking about here. So, let me turn this camera. All right, still recording. So, we got our holes I'm talking about. Here's our main cap holes, but watch this. Watch the number 3 rod. Fill it up. We got oil coming out the rod. Oil coming out the rod. Oil coming out the rod. And oil coming out the rod. So we're good. We're good and oiled. All right. When it comes to our rods, we're just going to squirt it everywhere. So that way, when we're ready to go, we're already pre-oiled. Checking that anything looks good. No metal or nothing, so it all looks good. I'll go ahead and pause for a second, put you back on the tripod while I go ahead and put the cam caps back on. Get ready to put the cam caps back on. Or crank rod caps. Sorry guys, I got to get this right. All right, I'm going to start with number 4. And we're going to put a little bit of oil on the bearing as well. And just set that wherever I can. Go ahead and get that on there. And we're just going to snug it up. That way everything goes together nice and smooth. Also, I should push up the bearing, or push up the, that was the piston. That way everything lines up. Get it snug. Okay. All right, we'll move on to the next one, number 3. By the way, I'm using this fancy dandy speed wrench. I ain't never used one of these a lot, but definitely works. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put a little oil on number 3. Even though we already got oil on everything. Just go and slide her in place. All right. Speed wrench time. We'll actually push the piston up. Then speed wrench time. Line everything up. That one good. That one good. Okay, we're just snugging. Right now we're not tightening. Just enough to give it, just a little bit of clearance, or a little snug there. Okay. We'll move on to number 2. Drop nothing. And I dropped it. Yeah, give it a good wipe. These should already have molly on them. Down on the threads, so we're okay there. So, a little bit of oil. And on number 2. And you want to make sure the notches are facing the right direction, guys. That's the number 1 thing, because if not, you're going to break a rod as soon as you crank it over. Just saying. And nobody wants to do that. So, make sure your rods are the right direction. Snug it. Okay. Snug it. Last one, number 1. Alright. A little bit of oil. Okay. It's got oil. I'll build my motors with oil just because it's easy, I guess. Cheap. I could do molly and that other stuff they sell, but oil works good. I mean, it's going to be an OLE engine anyways, and have oil flowing through it, so I want to make sure it's got oil. So I'll go ahead and get these to the position of being snug. Then we'll go ahead and torque them down to 45 foot-pounds. Final torque. So done with speed wrench. Back to the torque wrench. Well, it's already set up on 45. So, all right. Just go ahead and torque them down like we did a few minutes ago. All right. The red light means stop. Okay. If you have any doubt about anything, you might have put it in the wrong position, take it apart and check. It's always good. Never put it together and not know. So, just saying. 45. 45. 45. 45. 45. 45. All right, so the rods are done. Next thing is the main caps, and those are like 80 foot-pounds, so they're a lot more difficult there. So we'll go ahead and get our thrust washers ready. We'll slide our thrust washers in. Do them first. So they have different notches on them, okay? Right? They have notches and they have a flat side. Flat side faces the aluminum of the block. Don't mix that up, okay? Flat side, notches. Make sure the flat side faces the aluminum, and that goes on number 4. So slide it on in. Okay, might have to. All right, I had a little issue trying to put that together, but I got it now. So the pistons were holding down on the crank, keeping it from going side to side. The crankshaft should be able to move like this with no thrust washers, which we're going to go ahead and add those in now. So go ahead and inspect the thrust washer. Looks decent. Go ahead and add the first thrust washer. I'll just roll it all the way around. Come on. Roll it all the way around. There it goes. Sometimes it's being a little difficult here. Alright, use a screwdriver to kind of line her into place. Crankshaft needs to go over some. If it will. Okay. Alright, now I'll take this and kind of get a little pry on the crankshaft here. Get it to come over. It's like it's not in line. Roll it. I'm just working this thrust bearing in place. I don't know why it's doing that. I gotta figure something out, guys. All right, guys. We finally got this short block assembled. We got the rods in. We got the pistons in. We got the main caps done. All the technical stuff that it comes to plastic gauging the motor to make sure it's in clearance. All that stuff's done. The short block's done. We have fire rings installed so that way it'll never blow a head gasket. She rolls over nice and smooth. Like butter, man. So I got another crappy ratchet, but it was better than the last one. But this should be a awesome build. I cannot wait to get this in the car to run it. So it's gonna be a screamer, guys. So there she is. So I'm gonna leave her in cylinder 1 right there. But anyways, this is going to be an outro to my video. This is me, Brandon from Gswaps. This is my H22A4 short block build. She is put together with Aries pistons from Tom June. Also have KS Tune Eagle rod, or not Eagle rods, but X beam rods. KS Tune X beam rods. I got Abe's sleeves here. Machine shop, A1 machine shop cut my fire rings. We're using 04 gauge wire. So, man, this thing's gonna run, guys. I just can't wait to get it in the car now. So, next things I need to do: put my oil pump on, put the rest of my balance shaft elite stuff on. Since the crankshaft and stuff was already done, all that's been done for that for a while now. Put the oil pump on, put the balance shaft elite stuff on, put the everything retaining to the oil pan and bottom end that goes on. Turbo oil pan. Also, get the water pipe for it, get the oil cooler for it. I don't plan on actually using the oil cooler, but it's there, so I kind of have to do something with it. I could delete it, and it's a possibility I might delete it. So, but that'll be down in the future of figuring out what to do on that part. But other than that, we're basically done for the night. The short block is assembled. So here in a couple weeks, maybe a month's time, this thing might be running in the car. We'll see. That'd be pretty cool. I'd like to see that. So anyways, it's Brandon from Gswaps. This is my assembled short block. And say hi, Uncle Wayne.
Hey, hey.
All right. Goodbye, y'all.